Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall was some time ago released for free by Bethesda, and the single best way to get it is an application called Daggerfall Setup. I'll have the download pages for everything I talk about in this video in an article linked below. So, for a long time, I've debated with myself as to my favorite Elder Scrolls game. The fantasy life simulator, that is Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall, or the smaller, with less features, but better written, Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. Year after year, I'd play Morrowind and miss some of the features, or the world scale, or countless other little things that Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall did better. And I'd say, well, obviously Daggerfall was better, and I'd go play Daggerfall. And it would be a buggy, glitchy, crashy mess filled with falling through the floor, quest bugs, and more. And I'd think to myself, God, at least Morrowind wasn't this buggy. Yeah, I'll go play Morrowind. So not quite that far into the past, but for a very long time now, a project was a serious contender poised to one day fix all of my problems with Daggerfall. It was called Dagger XL. It was just one aspect of the XL Engine project, a project that lacked focus and was the pet project of a single person for a long time. People constantly asked, is the project dead? And the author would always come back with posts saying, it's not dead, and then promptly not update it for long stretches of time. Toward more recent history, a new unrelated project was created, however, called Daggerfall Tools for Unity, allowing Daggerfall's files to be viewed in Unity, allowing you to run around the world of Daggerfall. This project would take off into the Daggerfall Unity project we know today. The most important part of this project is it had its own source code available, a GitHub site that took community submissions, while the main developer of Daggerfall Unity did in 6 months what took the Dagger XL creator years to do in terms of specific features and things. At the same time, other developers started working on side features, while the developer was working on core features. And the project zoomed ahead by leaps and bounds. This was a recipe for success, and early this year, the main quest and all the guilds were completable by the player. Now, I'm going to take a moment to talk about project states. See, the gaming industry has a problem. They've taken what should be development terms, and they've twisted and co-opted them into marketing jargon. Meaningless marketing jargon. This is going to be extremely simplified, what I'm saying, and perhaps not 100% accurate, but here we go anyway. So, when you see a game that's missing a ton of core features, and it says alpha, that's a lie. That project is actually a pre-alpha until all its core features are done. Once the core features are done, then you start adding content to it, and that phase is the alpha. And then once you're ready to start debugging and you're producing release candidates, that's the beta phase. Now, the difference between beta phase and going silver, those builds are marked as RC, which are reserved for versions of the game that, if they don't find any more bugs, have the potential to be the full release. And it keeps going from RC1 to RC2 to RC3 as they continually fix all the bugs that are reported within the beta. Going gold is the actual finished product. And that is when the game actually releases. Now, bad marketing in the game industry has led the general gaming population, that's us who play games, to believe that some pre-alphas are betas, and somehow that core systems are going to be entirely replaced during the real beta phase. They've poisoned the well to this extent. So when you see someone who says, well, it's only in beta, they are definitely going to overhaul these features. That's not how betas work. And if they do, usually if major overhauls happen and it's the result of crunch, features get left out and the game suffers for it. Why am I saying all of this? Well, Daggerfall Unity was, until earlier this year, in pre-alpha, because core features were still being added. Now, because Daggerfall Unity is a re-implementation of Daggerfall, that means all of Daggerfall's base content exists already, just waiting to be plugged into Daggerfall Unity's program. Daggerfall Unity just needed to know how to operate those existing files that were provided by Bethesda's archives for free. Well, Daggerfall Unity now is in an alpha state, meaning all of those core features are now in-game. And little minor side features are now being worked on that don't have anything to do with the core functionality of the game. That is to say, now that Daggerfall Unity is in alpha, it's possible to enjoy the entire game, beginning to end. All the dungeons, all the quests, the entire story, from start to finish, without the bugs of classic Daggerfall. This basically cements Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall as my favorite Elder Scrolls game of all time, as it was the bugs that kept pushing me back. I'm not saying Elder Scrolls II is a better video game, because they are quite different video games. Sure, I've said that in the past, but we all say things we regret, right? But all of that said, to my personal sensibilities, I'd rather play a long campaign in Elder Scrolls 2 than 3. I'll likely get into the exact reasoning in another video in the future, probably when I talk more about OpenMW, because, oh boy, the open-sourced Morrowind engine is jumping forward by leaps and bounds as well. Suffice it to say, though, Daggerfall Unity is out now, and it'll get better. Minor features will be added, but for all the people asking, is Daggerfall Unity planning to update the graphics and all that? The answer is a firm no. That's a job for modders to do, and yes, unlike vanilla Elder Scrolls 2, Daggerfall Unity has mod support. The footage you've been watching has been with the tedious travel, hills and mountains, and distant terrain mods. Now, I'm going to shift the footage over to the D.R.E.A.M mod, which overhauls the textures, NPCs, and more. If you don't like this texture overhaul, you don't have to use it. That's the great thing about mods. There's a mod for an airship that you can control. It flies really fast through the air. There's an Archaeologist Guild, which has a rivalry with the Mages Guild. It has its own unique mechanics and supports the use of various speech and language skills in the game. There's a roleplay and realism overhaul, which has modular parts that can be turned on and off separately in the mod menu, which fixes various issues with the game. And my personal favorite, as of the time making this video, would be the Warm Ashes mod, which is a quest pack that integrates itself into the core of Daggerfall, that is, Daggerfall's questing system, adding in all kinds of new quest events. It has my personal recommendation, but keep in mind, it requires a new playthrough, or it can have the potential to break things horribly. You might get away with installing it on a running playthrough, but just be careful. Make sure to make a save before you do it so you can roll back if you break it. Now, I'll talk more about Warm Ashes at the end of this video, but suffice it to say, the modding system has a lot of potential for anyone willing to look deeply enough into it. Although brand new, Daggerfall Unity has a wing of Nexus mods dedicated to it. Until that picks up, however, the best place to get Daggerfall Unity mods are the Daggerfall Unity modding forums, specifically under released mods. Any mods I link in the article, which will be linked below, will be from that forum and not Nexus mods for the purposes of this video. As we move forward and start talking about Daggerfall Unity modding later on, if the modding community picks up and blows up more than it does, we'll probably start linking to Nexus pages instead. Anyway, one of the most exciting parts of Daggerfall Unity is a tool created by one of the prime contributors, which allows the injection of assets, specifically locations, into the game world. For those who don't know, Elder Scrolls 2 is about the size or bigger than Great Britain, which means there's a massive landscape ripe for adding modded locations in. And Daggerfall Unity makes it possible, with various projects being worked on by independent developers, to add new locations across the Iliac Bay, both in High Rock, Hammerfell, as well as various islands. As for Daggerfall Unity itself, even without mods, the launcher itself has an array of advanced options for players, such as more enemy variety in dungeons. Enemies of separate factions can fight each other. Enhanced enemy AI, allowing them to get around obstacles and things, where in the vanilla game they just kind of run against a wall. Allowing magical item repairs. Usually in the vanilla game, magic items were balanced to decay over time and then poof, go away forever. In the original Daggerfall, this was an I cheat option. Now it's in the advanced menu for anyone to use easily, without having to change any I settings. Next up, we got instant repair services. Normally, you have to wait 1 day per item you put up for repair on the same blacksmith. That is no longer the case. Next, pick up which guild quest you want to do, as opposed to having them randomly assigned. Obviously, as you gain access to more quests, as your rank goes up, the window of selection for quests will get bigger until there's a scroll bar. Next up is usable player torches and lanterns. This option is best done by turning down the dungeon lighting a bit, and then having lanterns or torches to light the way. And finally, one of the best features, the advanced climbing system. For those who don't know, Daggerfall featured a climbing system that allowed you to climb up walls and over obstacles. Although the instruction manual also mentioned you could climb downward with a rope, no rope was ever included in the game. That's where Daggerfall Unity's advanced option comes into play. With advanced climbing, you can climb up or down walls, as well as around corners and even hang from edges. It allows true parkour, jumping from wall to wall and holding on, as long as you pass your climbing skill check. Don't have climbing trained, you might have a bad time. The point is, when people ask, is Daggerfall Unity going to change something? If it is, it'll most likely be a mod, or at the very most, an advanced option, allowing the core game to be mostly vanilla, minus the bugs, of course, and exploits. And the game is much better for it, although sometimes a little bit harder. You know, some people liked exploiting bugs like clipping through the wall and flying through the void. But there are better ways to deal with those problems now, because the game features a full command console. Just like the Gamebryo Descendants, the command console includes commands to teleport you to the quest spawn or the quest item if you just plain can't find it and you feel like you need to cheat. There's even a debug menu where you can see the status of all the active quests in the game. Now, as for minor changes to the core game, these were done mostly on the user interface level. These were quality of life options, not really gameplay changes. For example, a minor change allows you to see the numerical reputation you have with various factions you belong to, as well as not only your bank accounts in all regions you have money in, but also any outstanding loan amounts and due dates on debts you owe. Quality of life changes that make the game a little less obscure for obscurity's sake. The actual quest log, that menu has been greatly enhanced with multiple tabs you can click through by hitting the dialogue notes button, giving you access to not only the default current quests, but also completed quests, game messages you've missed, and the most important part, the notebook, which in the vanilla game you could manually add to, but in this has various events that will automatically add themselves as it is appropriate. Things you need reminding of. It's likely that small additions like these will be added over time, and what won't be added, mods can very easily take over. One thing that's really fun to look at, some silly Daggerfall Unity deathmatch test someone did. It hasn't been released, But the Iliac Bay is the size of Great Britain, for God's sakes. Plenty of space for other players. Even an MMO-like server. Or, you know, Fortnite Daggerfall Edition. Oh boy. That storm in the Iliac Bay is getting pretty rough there. Since when did storms turn into circles? God, that's such a terrible mechanic to think about. I mean, it works, gameplay-wise, but story-wise, it's just awful. The Eye of the Storm, you say? No. Alright, either way, the article linked below has everything you need to get started with Daggerfall and Daggerfall Unity, as well as a list of recommended mods to play with. Thank you all for watching, and if you don't want some Warmash's content spoiled, then leave now, and I'll see y'all next time. And for the rest of you, let's talk Warmashes. So, really cool stuff happens in Warmashes. So when you're traveling through towns, there's a chance a mugger might show up. There's a chance that a tournament might be held, and you can enter it. There's a chance that if you're wandering a village at night, a skeleton or werewolf, you know, a night beastie, might come out and attack you. If you leave town and you're traveling through the wilderness, something you almost never did in the vanilla game, you almost always used fast travel, but with the tedious travel mod, that actually encourages travel through the wilderness. Mind you, if it's snowing, tedious travel currently has trouble rendering the landscape, so you'll need to slow down to like under 20 times speed if you're going to go through snow. But otherwise, all the other weather conditions, you can go up to 100 times speed as long as your system is good. Although keep in mind your max speed is dependent on how fast you can render the terrain. So I would highly recommend on a lower end system not using the D.R.E.A.M mod and being very wary about using the D.R.E.A.M mod on just lower end systems. Otherwise, the core game of Daggerfall Unity runs very well on systems low and high. But once you're running through the wilderness, you can get a bandit attack or a Daedra attack, various attacks. Also, pilgrims might stop and greet you. One time I had a hunter who was stealthing his way through the grass, and he popped up and said, you know, stealth skill is useful for any hunter, and, you know, just generic dialogue, right? Then I went to rest next to him, and a bear attacked me. I killed the bear. He goes, after I loot the corpse, I loot my arrows off of the corpse. He goes, you going to do anything with that corpse? Can I have it? And I give it to him, and he gives me 50 gold and says, once I salt the meat, this will feed us for a month. All kinds of events, not just hostile, can happen in the wilderness. But then around dungeon exteriors, there's all kinds of other events that can occur. Even inside of dungeons, you can have ambushes and things occur. So I would say Warmashes makes the game harder, but it makes it harder in such a fun way. So I'm going to wrap this video up with a castle siege that I did, where I took down an army defending a keep. This was an army that attacked me on sight, as opposed to another army I encountered later that chose not to attack me, said, you are free to pass through. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to pass through. And I didn't have an issue with that. I'm just saying, it's really cool, and that's why I recommend Warmashes. Okay, Castle Siege time. Yeah, Arena's fun if you play it the way it wants to be played. But Daggerfall does everything Arena does better. There's only a handful of neat and interesting things, and most of that comes from the novelty of, oh, you're in the Somerset Isles now. Oh, you're in Valenwood now. You know, that. Oh, hello. Hello, Fortress. We just went right by this thing. Is that a catapult? You come across an active keep known as Greenfield's Hold. Soldiers suddenly start gathering in formation surrounding you. Who the hell are you? Know what? Forget it. The soldiers begin to charge. Jeez. Getting attack ed. It's getting attacked. Okay. So, about that elven longbow. We're gonna dive around the fortress again. I'm just gonna run them around. Hey, screw you. I just found a random fortress and I was like, hello. I mean, if you want to provide me with free loot, I'm gonna take on the whole garrison by oh god, am I dead? I've been poisoned. The poison might kill me. I'm actually concerned. It's draining my magic. Yeah. I should have gotten a poison cure spell. These are poisoned arrows. Jeez. Bastards hit me with poisoned arrows. The enemy's surprised by your prowess. They call for reinforcements. Mages! Mages! Crap! Crap! Holy shit! Horse it! I need the heals. Okay. Okay, come on. Come on, loots. All the loots. Battlefield looting, by the way, is in most situations punishable by death. You need to, at least in the real world, battlefield looting is considered a huge crime. But either way, Silver Greaves. That's +9 to armor. This is +9. Oh, so they're the same armor value as my... Well, if they're the same armor value, I'm going to wear those because those are shiny. So, yes. Yep. 5 guards get sent by a dragon from Whiterun. Something like that, yeah. Oh boy. It's exciting, don't you know? Okay, so yeah, this is... If I survive this, which is... It's possible I won't. But if I do survive this, it's going to make me kind of rich. At least, you know, this is like a whole dungeon's worth of gear. What's this? Potion recipe. Cool. I'll be taking that. Speaking of which, how much money do I have? 3, 5, 6, 9. Put it in the cart. Thank you. That's carry weight in a nutshell. Okay. I think that's it. I think we've looted all the corpses. Yeah, we've looted all the corpses. So, we have to figure out what's going on. The battle continue. Okay. Yeah, the Ultimate games do get complicated. Alright, I think the enemies are around the other side of this fortress. Yeah, there's the entrance. There they are. Damn right. I'm just shooting at this guy from a distance. Oh god, guy's coming up here. I like how he's stuck on the corner there. Good. Yes. So, yep. She's trying to aim at me to shoot. You can... Oh god, she hit me. She definitely hit me. This bastard is like... Oh, he was a healer. Okay. That explains why he had so much health. Probably buffed himself up beforehand. Come on. We're getting some money here. Getting some loot as well. The wagon is filling up with these soldiers' items. Let's see. Is there any game where a single arrow strike or a strike with a sword can kill with realistic weapon damage? Don't know. I mean, I know I've killed people in one hit in Kingdom Come Deliverance, but that is a special case. Okay. Payday 2. Ada. Come on. Enemy is surprised by your prowess and calls for more reinforcements. Oh, God. Oh, my. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding? There's more of them. I'm gonna dive into the fort and see if I can get away. I'm gonna dive inside here. All right. Bats? Skeletons? Bats and skeletons? Bats and skeletons? Bye! 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 Serpentine motion, serpentine motion. Jump over the water. Run! Get on horse and go, get on horse and go, get on horse and go. Serpentine motion, serpentine motion. Oh, jeez. Look at that. You think it's time to run? Oh, really? I've been poisoned. The poison is killing me slowly. There are more enemies near a centaur. You know what? You're on a horse. You're a horse. I'm on a horse, okay? I feel this is a fair fight. Okay. There we go. You are a horse, and I'm on a horse. Straggling. There we go. More enemies. They're coming! The army's followed me! The army's followed me! Oh, jeez. Okay, I should be safe here. No, I'm not. I'm not safe. Bear! I could have ambushed you in your sleep. No one is able to ambush you. It goes, there's enemies nearby. And, bomb, please. They can ambush me. That's ambush. Aha! Plop. Plop, 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 plop. Here they come. The soldiers are on their way. Hey, soldiers, want to meet the centaurs? Wouldn't it be cool if they didn't like each other? They are best buds. They've been hired by the soldiers. Damn. I'd hoped that they were not friends, but apparently that is not the case, and you know, I'm using my adept running skill here to try to avoid these guys. Jeez. The centaur's faster than they are. He's a damn horseman. Okay, we got him. I can believe in myself now. I believe I can kill these guys, so. You know, believing in yourself gives you the ability to kill tons and tons of people. Oh, jeez, okay. This is fine. This is fine. Continue to fill up the wagon with loot from soldiers. Pants? You don't understand. These pants They have unknown powers. Equip the pants immediately. I have not invoked the power of the pants yet. But I will. You will see. Let's continue plucking arrows out of these guys' corpses. The best loots are obtained by the survivors. Yes. Chain boots, damn. I was hoping those were elven boots, because I only have steel boots, so... I'm always looking for an upgrade. Thinking now about normal boots. Who the hell's on normal boots now? Like, JonTron was on normal boots. Wasn't Pro Jared on normal boots? Or was he on something else? Let's see. Trying to remember. Come on. Oh, it's called Greenfield's Hold. And I've been there, apparently. Yeah. Well, the soldiers are still looking for me. Yep. Okay. Oh god, Spriggans and bears! Spriggans and bears! I was trying to fight an army. I didn't know that the army would come to see me. Try hindsight 9,000. Oh god. Let's see here. Not 20/20 vision. Just hindsight gives you superpowers at this point. Okay. I'm gonna try to ignore all this. It's Archer. Whenever I see those archers that don't actually shoot, I immediately think of Archer from Fate Stay Night. Ooh, Elven Pauldron! Upgrade! Upgrade! But, Fate Stay Night was just trash, but it was entertaining trash with characters that I enjoyed in other media. For example, I love Fate Extella as a game. The storyline is so bad, but the game is just great. Hindsight shows you the future, yes. Well, the concept is great. I mean, you're summoning heroic spirits from different time periods in order to wage a war for the omnipotent wish-granting device, the Holy Grail. That's freaking awesome. And it's weeb shit. But yeah, Fate Extella is absolutely one of my favorite games. It's Dynasty Warriors, but with tons of weeb shit. Dot Hack Link was terrible. No, I mean terrible. Did you like Haseo in Dot Hack GU? Good, because now he's trash. Oops. I need arrows again. Let's pick up like 60 of them. Where did they go? Where'd they go? I obviously just missed them. They are somewhere in my wagon underneath piles of loot. There they are. Alright, we just need 50 arrows, yes. I'm gonna save as the battle continues. It's a garbage show. Nobody should, sorry, game. Game. Literally, the whole point of it is you take one other player, you take one other character with you. Wait, enough is enough. The commander of the keep kicks open the door of the fortress and charges into the battle. He's dead set on stopping you in your tracks. Oh, jeez. Here we go. There's a mage here. I need to... Oh god, run! Nightblade's dead. Impossible! The last words of the commander before they collapse. You've won a victory over Greenfield's hold. The remaining soldiers will still attack, but without their leader, they have not the manpower to remain at this keep. They will soon disperse, to leave in failure. After scavenging the bodies, you take your earnings. 8,000 septims. Okay, I need to put those septims away in the wagon. I can't carry that much. 9, 8, 3, 6. There we go.